Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. And today we're going to go ahead and unbox this Kinji Fukasaku 3-film set from Arrow. He's a director which actually I've known about for years. I mean, he did direct The Green Slime back in the 60s. One of my favorite movies as a kid, and he even directed Battle Royale. And obviously in the back there you see the Battles Without Honor and Humanity series, which he also directed. So here we have a nice 3-film set. Let's go ahead and take a look. First, we have the Doberman Cop with Sonny Chiba. I have a review of that film at the end of my unboxing here. Look. And there you see the disc, Sonny Chiba's mean, angry face. And next we have Cops versus Thugs. So these are all sort of crime / Yakuza-oriented films. Look at that artwork, nice and vibrant. And then we'll take a look at the third film here. And the third film is called Street Mobster. This one stars Bunta Sugawara, who of course is the main star of the Battles Without Honor and Humanity series. Someone I was really not too familiar with until I picked that series up, but he was pretty big time back then. So let's go ahead and flip the cover art around. So there you go. You can either have an animated style or more of a photographic style. I like both of them. And here's the Kinji Fukasaku stack that I'm accumulating here so far. What a director. I need to get Green Slime and Battle Royale. And the special features on Doberman Cop were great. I just watched all of them. There's a great trailer which features a Doberman, which you do not see in the movie. That's just his nickname. And then you have an interview with this gentleman here who talks about the history of these films and how they were borrowing from a subgenre of manga, gekiga, which used, they had like artistic panels which more closely resembled movies, and they were very character driven. So as the industry began to sort of decline and it was oversaturated with gangster movies, filmmakers looked to these type of manga for ideas, and I found this to be fascinating, and there's lots of examples in here of different series. The Scorpion series starring Meiko Kanji is another example of that. Even the Lone Wolf and Cub series and Lady Snowblood, and I believe this other series which eventually starred Sonny Chiba, the film version, I think it's a Karate Fighter if I'm not mistaken, something along those lines. Really great interview, really fascinating stuff. And you have a really great interview with Sonny Chiba, at least part of it. I assume the other 2 volumes will have the rest of the interview, where he talks about his relationship with Fukasaku. Okay, so the film that I gravitated to first was the Doberman Cop, mostly because of Sonny Chiba. I'm sure the other 2 films will be good too. And as I said, this one had part 2 of an interview with Sonny Chiba. I'm taking it the others will have the first and third parts. Really great interview, great special features. Anyway, let's get to the movie. Just a quick 1 or 2 minute review. This basically tells the story of a young lady whose body is found burned, and she's not the only one. There have been a few others, and the police bring in some hooligans or motorcycle gang members. They ride these like dirt bike kind of things. It's pretty cool. This is from the late 70s, mid to late 70s, so you get the vehicles that are commensurate with the times. I always like to see that myself. But and you know, as they're conducting their investigation, they pretty much sort of identify a girl who they believe came from the island of Okinawa, and Sonny Chiba arrives wearing a floppy straw hat and carrying a sack, which turns out to have a live pig in it, which he walks around. So he comes in, since the girl is supposed to be from Okinawa, he comes in and everyone is polite to him until the pig gets out of the sack, and then they start looking at each other like, who the heck is this guy? He appears to be quite the country bumpkin. He then informs that a priestess on the island, I think it's called a Nuru, pretty much said that this is not the girl you think it is, it's another girl. And he believes that. And they've shown him the forensics. It's interesting because they have a picture of this girl's face, and then they superimpose the photograph of her skull on top of that. And they're explaining to him like he's a 2-year-old, like, this is called superimposing, you know. And he's like, no, I don't think that's her. And they get very frustrated with him. He meets a guy on the street who owns a club, and he goes there, and that's kind of his inroads into this underworld. And meanwhile, there's a woman who's a singer who is unfortunately on drugs and being controlled by her manager, who is also in the Yakuza. Okay, so what happens is there's a hostage standoff. Somebody, a fan of hers, holds her at knife point, and about 500 police show up, and the guy flips out because there's too many police, and Sonny Chiba says, oh, let me handle it. So he goes through the window. He's like, oh, I did this before in Okinawa. He rappels down the side and goes through the window and does what Sonny Chiba does. He kicks some ass. And so all of a sudden everyone's like, hey, this guy's pretty cool. And in the little bar he goes to, the strippers and everything, they think he's like a hero. This movie has a lot of comedy elements in it, but it's also at the same time a very adult movie. I mean, you see there's plenty of nudity in this. You see all the participants in the underworld here, and essentially, this guy who's the manager of this woman is really, maybe not a nice guy, and it turns out that she's not who she is either. She's going on. It's interesting because you think these shows like American Idol have gotten popular recently. She's on some show. She's got a couple little albums out and stuff. She's known sort of locally, as a singer. But she's on some show, big time, prime time show in Japan. And she's one of the finalists. So they're trying to coach her into winning. And she gets tired and she passes out and she's moody and they have a lot of problems with her. So the guy, she's on drugs. So. And she pretty much holds the key to a lot of this. And so at various times, Chiba has to actually work with these bikers, okay, who also kind of come in the crosshairs of the sort of the mob, the Yakuza. And then at one point, the police get so tired of him, they just put him in handcuffs and they arrest him. And there's some crazy fights in this movie. There's lots of yelling and screaming at each other. Pretty good stunts. And the whole time he's walking around with this pig in a bag, and every once in a while he takes it out. He throws it on the stage in the one club, and it causes some huge diversion. And he's got a bag full of little seashells, which he'll throw like 50 of them. He'll throw them on the table, and he's supposed to. It's like a fortune telling type of thing, and the mainland cops, the Tokyo cops, are just like, oh my gosh, like this guy, but. Really, another really interesting character from Sonny Chiba. He's smart. He's strong and virile. He's got those eyebrows of his. I mean, he's a manly man. He was a manly man, that's for sure. The interview, took place I think in the mid 2000s. He still looked great at the time, but yeah, really just a good film. Did I pick up like I often say with these crime movies, especially the foreign ones, did I pick up every little nuance? No, probably not. This upon repeated viewing, I'm going to have to be like, okay, wait a minute. This guy was really with this guy, and that's why this guy was taken hostage. At any rate, you often see people taken hostage and tied up in these films, it seems to me. That's almost like a trademark. But excellent film. I can't wait to watch the other two. And of course, the Doberman Cop, that's just his nickname because he's like a Doberman. The trailer shows a Doberman pinscher, but there's no such thing in the final film. Have you guys seen this? Have you heard of it? Are you fans of Sonny Chiba? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks. Later.